How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you WEBSTOR, Evil Master of Escape, from Masters of the Universe Origins line. This is my first time ever owning a WEBSTOR figure. My only experience with him ever was in commercials. Growing up, I don't even remember having a friend that owned a WEBSTOR action figure back in the 80s, or at any point for that matter. I am aware of the classics line of Masters of the Universe, and that WEBSTOR, in my opinion, just from the images that I've seen and the video reviews I've seen online, like Pixel Dan and stuff, that is a masterpiece, that WEBSTOR figure, and I hope to own it one day. But for right now, it's a wish list item, and today it's going to be all about Origins WEBSTOR. So we've got our look at the front of the blister card, and it's so awesome. We've already looked at the Rock in a Hard Place mini comic in a previous review. So if you would like to see that comic, go ahead and take a look at, I think it was my video for Eternian Goddess, or maybe it was my video for Stinkor. I think it was the video for Stinkor. You go ahead and check that out, enjoy that comic. And looking at the back here really quickly, we see that hook, that grapple attach hook line feature that it has, and the pulley mechanism. So we'll check that out and see how that works. Up at the top, got some more of that standard beautiful artwork. Get some light going here. Beautiful. There we go. With sinister stealth and a trap-making mind, WEBSTOR poses a threat to the bravest and the brightest. You know, one sentence, really cool little bio. Lets your imagination kind of like run wild there. And you got WEBSTOR with the hook holding him up. You've got He-Man, Buzz Off. All right, we've got WEBSTOR out and in a semi-dynamic pose, holding his grapple hook line, and it's connected there to the top of my awesome dial by Crashbox Customs. Very cool. He comes with another accessory, which is this blaster sword here in the traditional orange color. And we're going to go ahead and give WEBSTOR his passes. Let's check them out. The backpack has a really standard string. There is really no tension to it at all, unless there is something holding the other end of the hook. Then it creates some tension with the gears inside, and he just travels right along the hook, which is really cool. I will demonstrate that here if I can get a good pinch. All right, so I'm holding the other end of the grappling hook with my hands to keep it in place, and as I pull the string, he just travels right up. Very, very cool. And as I let it go, he slides right back down. And up he goes, whoop, and back he comes. So that is really cool. Very simple mechanism, and it works really, really well. It feels sturdy. It doesn't feel like it's going to break after a few uses, and the knots around the plastic pieces are really good knots. If I was a master of knots, or even just a pretty good Boy Scout, I could probably tell you what that knot is. But I'm neither, so it's just a really awesome knot. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. The plastic on the grapple hook is pretty solid. There really isn't much give to it. So that's a nice feature, especially since it's going to be carrying his weight. That is pretty stiff. And this rotates up at the top. So that's chill. I'm gonna go ahead and give our friend his blaster. I like the orange, how it contrasts with the purple and also with the blue. Very cool. It would have been nice if there were somewhere to attach the grapple hook, so you know you could just rest it somewhere here. But as it stands, there really isn't. And I've tried to find ways to tie the rope, and I guess this method works, but it isn't the cleanest method. You can kind of like wind it there a bit and then get it over into his hand. but that's not the most secure fix, and it has to be in his hand in order for it to stay like that. So it would have been nice if there was somewhere to stash or store the hook when he is not actually physically carrying it. But otherwise, I just kind of like throw it over the back like that. So in terms of the weight on this mechanism, it's not light, that's for sure. Fortunately, the joints on him are strong and sturdy. Very nice. But it is a hefty little backpack there. So fortunately, he's a big, strong guy. I'll take off the armor piece. He looks really cool. Rippling back muscles, bulging triceps, bulging shoulders. Very cool. I like the purple boots. Big fan of purple, Team Purple. Taking a close look at the face sculpt. I think that is a really nice, unique face sculpt. It kind of reminds me of those monsters from... Oh man, I don't remember the TV show right now. That sucks. But it reminds me of the monsters that I don't remember. I think it was it Lost World or Land of the Lost? I think it was Land of the Lost, yes. And I think they were green and their eyes were black. But they kind of reminded me, this guy kind of reminded me of them with the protrusions here on the side of his skull and here in the center. But this is an awesome head sculpt, and it is definitely WEBSTOR all the way. Very, very cool. All right, quick look at the armor, which is also that same purple. It is perfectly paint matched to the mechanism on the back of the armor and also the other piece that's at the front of the armor. Very, very nice. I really like the design of this particular armor. I like how it's angular and it seems to be layered. And then the paintwork kind of matches the angular nature of the armor. Very cool. I think it fits him well, especially with the points of his teeth sticking out of his mouth and the points on the top of his head here. I think all that complements each other really well. Go ahead and get the armor back on him. I never had WEBSTOR in my collection growing up or at any point in my life as a collector. So I'm very happy that he's made another appearance, of course, in Origins. And I got him. I'm happy to have him in my collection. Absolutely. He was a highly anticipated acquisition, and he is not disappointing so far. All right, let's go ahead and give him a try with scaling Castle Grayskull. And we have WEBSTOR with the grapple hook connected to the top of Castle Grayskull, and He-Man hanging out in the front with Orko in the background. And I just kind of want to demonstrate how that feature would work in a play scenario. So excuse me for the moving camera, but if WEBSTOR were to fall, he would get caught by the grapple hook. He-Man might notice, and WEBSTOR might panic and just pull the string, and he goes right back up to safety. Pretty cool. Again, he'll fall, and he'll get afraid of He-Man. Ah! And you can get him right back up into that safe position, hiding at the top here on this ledge. Very cool. This little mechanism works extremely well in its simplicity. Way to go, Mattel. Origins continues to win. This toy line is winning. Very nice. Very nice. Another excellent addition to my ever-growing Origins collection. All right, so we're going to go ahead and segue right into a themed comparison today. We're going to look at characters who have some really awesome armor with some really angular geometry on it, and also with a really nice color palette that kind of flatters or complements WEBSTOR. So as we get ready to segue into that, and since we're not really looking at a size comparison today, I'm going to get one dynamic pose out of my friend here. All right, there we go. And for his weapon, whoa, you see he fell down, but fortunately his grapple hook was hinged up there. That was totally unplanned. And I mean, he's laying on his back, so it really wasn't a great save, but but the grapple hook works. It works. Very cool. Very cool. And it just shows the awesome design of that, and also how sturdy my Dio is. Very nice. So I'm going to go ahead and just give him a melee weapon that I think complements him. So here we're following the same idea with our themed comparison coming up. We have a lot of angular geometry, some curvature in the points. Here on the handle, we have what looks like webbing in a crisscross pattern. So that's cool. And I'm going to give all that to him. And I'll put this melee weapon in his hand to try and get the iconic pose. Very nice. I like that. I'm going to adjust the lighting very quickly so I can get a cool picture. Very cool. My favorite pose by far with action figures. Very nice. All right, let's go ahead and bring out, whoa, he got caught again thanks to the grapple hook. Let's go ahead and bring out our first character in today's themed comparison. Awesome, imposing character with remarkable armor that has awesome geometry and angles. Morgulith from my Mythic Legions collection from Four Horsemen Studios. And here you're going to see in the crown that she has a lot of the same angular geometry in his head. The bumps along his head creating that peak are mimicked by her crown also. Very, very cool. In her face sculpt, you can see she's extremely unique and imposing. You see more of the angular geometry in her chest armor. And of course, she is adorned in purple and she is absolutely stunning. You see the purple bracers complementing his. Very, very nice. I like what we're seeing here. All right. Next, I will bring up my Sentinel Berserker Lancelot figure. And you see a lot of the same themes going on in the armor and the upper plate near his feet and his boots. You see the same striations in the hands or here in the bones along the armor in our Sentinel. Very, very nice. You see the angular geometry in his helmet, also in the visor of the helmet. Cool stuff. And for the point, he has a variety of tendrils that he comes with. So in theory, he could have a tendril here that could also mimic the grappling hook. But for the purposes of this video, he's got that little point. Very, very cool. Next up, I will bring up another one of my favorite figs with some really awesome angular geometry in his armor. He's got the color palette in the purple to match and complement our awesome WEBSTOR. And he's another awesome baddie with a really tough face sculpt. I like the fact that he's a little bit shorter too, and WEBSTOR can kind of have like a buddy to pair him up there, I guess, with. All right, we're going to bring out another really awesome character with some awesome angular geometry in their sculpt work. A custom action figure that I put together, pop and swap, using some of my Mythic Legions. Very, very cool. And you see again the same angular geometry in the armor pieces. Here on WEBSTOR, he has these fins flaring out of his wrists and his forearms. And you see the same mimicked here in the armor. You see the same mimicked in our Sentinel figure there. You see it mimicked here, oops, in Morgulith's armor and also in the armor of Thanos. So I tried my best to kind of like find characters that would fit in with that theme. Some really badass armor with a really cool color palette and scheme. And I hope you guys enjoyed that little pairing there. As always, it's a lot of fun taking out time and sharing these moments with you guys. I hope you're able to come back and keep sharing some experiences too. It's going to be an awesome remainder of 2021, and 2022 is looking even better in terms of being a collector or a person that appreciates toy art or art in general. So thank you guys always so much. Until next time, take care.